What's up, guys? I'd like to touch on the subject of works and how it is not the way to God, and that through only Jesus Christ crucified is the only way to God. And we are now at right standing with God only and on account of Jesus Christ crucified. I've got a very interesting question for you. If you ask somebody to do something for you, okay, and you'd ask them to do it in a specific way, and they choose to do it the same thing, but in their own way, according to their own understanding, because they think it's better, yet they still do it, is that obedience or disobedience? It's disobedience, because at the end of the day, they did not do it like you asked them to do it. And the only work of God is this: to trust in Him who has been sent. Okay? For many will come to Him and say, Lord, Lord, didn't we do this and that? And He'll say, I never knew you. Be gone from me. You who relies on works and iniquity, it won't qualify you. It's lukewarm. Disobedience is not doing what God asked you to do. It's funny because the majority of the world is doing everything but the one thing God asked them to do. And even though they might have done other things that are seemingly right according to their own understanding, are still wrong, because at the end of the day, they did not do what God asked them to do. And it is accounted for as disobedience. God only asked us to trust in Jesus Christ and that He is enough for us, more than enough for us. That's all He asked us to do. Our obedience is accomplished by doing what God asked, and the only thing God asked us to do was to trust that Jesus Christ crucified is enough. To trust in Jesus Christ. It's the only work of God He asked us to do. But many people are doing everything else but it. It's the only thing we need on our side, and that is Jesus Christ crucified. Our obedience is on Christ's level because of Jesus Christ, regardless of what we do, because He had finished His works. Because of the works of Jesus Christ and not my own, am I at right standing with God perfectly. Perfectly. This must be accepted. It's no wonder this is the kind of message that the disciples preached that got them persecuted. It was this kind of bold message that got Jesus Christ crucified. For we come to His throne in boldness, with boldness. And we declare His word in boldness. It is this scandalous, so-called scandalous truth that Jesus Christ crucified is enough. That's the truth that will set you free from trying to change or anything like that. It is also proven that stress, fear, doubt breaks down our immune system. And faith, encouragement, positivity, optimism, it strengthens our immune system to fight off viruses. Jesus Christ said, the only sign you will be given is me hanging from a cross, because we need signs. Okay, so you got the 10 commandments of Moses. There's your sign or your reason to believe that you can go to hell. But I tell you this day, one even greater is here. And now you have Jesus Christ, the Son of God, crucified as your reason why you're going to heaven. You see, we need a reason and we need a sign. And Jesus Christ on that cross is the sign. It's the only sign granted to us. That is the reason we can depend on Jesus Christ crucified as enough, lest it went in vain. Did God sacrifice His Son in vain? Are you going to go and take salvation and bury it in the ground and say, I can do this myself, I don't need your sacrifice? No, of course not. Why would you want to do that? Don't let pride make you make foolish decisions And don't let your fear also tell you that you need to still try and change. Because it's obvious that sin wants to try and keep you in condemnation. Because without condemnation, there can be no sin. And with no sin, there can be no condemnation. And without condemnation, there can be no death. They all have to work interlinked with one another. But because you cannot be condemned, you have no fear. And if you have no fear, nothing else can rule over you. And it's no wonder that the devil's going to keep on telling you, no, you have to change. No, God's still upset with you. No, you can still be judged, because he wants to keep you working on your own strength and not depending on Jesus Christ crucified in his strength. He wants to try and make you go to heaven yourself and not through Jesus Christ crucified. The devil is more than willing to contend with you than he would want to with Jesus. I mean, the devil knows himself. Jesus was the only person that the devil could never tempt. So obviously, the devil wants to tangle with you and not with Jesus. But this is the truth once again. Only because of Jesus Christ crucified are we going to heaven. We are at right standing with God only on account of this. When he sees me and he sees you, he doesn't see who I am and what I've done. He sees what Christ Jesus is, who he is, and what he's done. Do we understand? It's very important to understand these things. Or this one thing. And if we are to get rid of fear and death and condemnation, we must accept this truth that sounded so blasphemous that they persecuted the disciples. It was as if the disciples were saying, you can go to heaven while you're being evil. That was in an account. Because the correct statements were, you will go to heaven because of Jesus Christ crucified. Because of Jesus Christ crucified. It's the new covenant. It's the new covenant of God that we have been welcomed into. And it's truly amazing how it qualifies us as perfect obedience. And it's the only obedience to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. God did not ask for sacrifice, but for mercy. He asked us that we accept his mercy. He didn't ask us to change. He asked us to accept his mercy and his love and his forgiveness, so that we may know him, that we may be transformed into his image. Jesus Christ crucified is enough for you, for me, for everyone. Nothing more is needed. That is your only ticket to heaven, for he is the truth, the way, and the life. Amen.